So I've been working on a little ditty.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Faith and finance, faith. Anyway, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
But
You've got a little work to do,
yeah.
but you're on the right track. It's always good when your theme song includes the actual name of.
That's the thing. Like when you're doing it yourself, you can do it. It's Drew Blasek, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, listeners of all ages, pay attention. It's time for Faith and Finance with Drew Blasek.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
I say faith in finance. We don't have faith in finance. Faith and finance.
Faith and finance. Yeah, we don't have a faith
we have
in our
we
finances.
have no faith in finance.
Faith
like we don't die and say, you know what? I hope my money can help me out here.
Yeah, right. Ain't no buying
Bless
a ticket,
me.
baby.
If you don't put the faith in the financial matters, then you're.
Oh, there you go.
yourself.
Faith. Yeah, there you go. Good morning, Drew.
Hey, good morning. So I woke up this morning and I said, I saw a Christian because they've been coming to me
Yeah.
to this thing I was like, hey, you going to come? He goes, no. But he goes, but are you still going to get donuts?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I felt like in the Middle Ages being used by the usurer. I was like, man, you want me to go to work and he's not going to come with me. Like,
Yeah, right. He just wants to.
I know how they feel. It's a disgusting feeling. So now I know why it was outlawed.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. What you got for us today, Mr. Blasek?
So it's just that the document, and I've got to practice my Latin, but it's like, economica et whatever. I can't even. It's questions with 2018 by the Doctrine of Faith that produced it.
that one.
That one.
I always just use the English translation because I'm like, if you're doing it in Latin, you're just showing off anyway. And nobody knows what you're talking about, so just give the English translation.
So it's questions about our economic finance system that they wanted to produce, and there's some pretty solid things in here. So we kind of talked about it, and here's the last parts of the document. So it urges the separation of banking functions. And it talks about full information of risk, uses of funds, and ethical conduct with advisors. So what is it talking about there? I think a lot of times if you guys have a financial advisor, they have like special, sometimes, not all advisors, but they have special rates and deals that they get with certain funds.
Yeah. And
all they're doing is they're putting you in funds that get a certain rate, and they're not taking a lot of risks.
Yeah.
But it's these funds that pay some. And I always got to go back to this, that we talked about it before. When you take your retirement fund and you go into a fund, let's say like BlackRock, they do not have our Catholic interests one bit. And what they do is you are signing over your rights to these companies, because if you own part of a company, you have voting rights for these businesses. And now BlackRock has, and Vanguard and State Street, they have the voting rights. And if you look it up, go to Yahoo Finance, you can look up every business. They are controlled by three major companies, which is BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Sometimes they flip around. So that's something always to keep in mind.
It's kind of scary, really, when you think about it.
And keep in mind Ave Maria funds, which makes sure that they are not supporting anything that would be contrary to the faith.
And I had money in that. There's three funds, I believe, three main ones I remember I was looking into. But that's something definitely to keep in mind. Yeah. And they try to put, and like we mentioned it before, that why do all these global companies kind of think the same? Is because it's the same global hedge fund or these management funds that are managing your money that control it.
So three companies control all of this.
Yeah, and you look at BlackRock, who owns them? BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Like, it's the same things. And they don't own 50%, but they own, if you look at it, most companies around 10, 12% each. Yeah. But they have voting rights, and they're the ones that are putting the CEOs, the board on there, and trying to promote what they want. And it makes more sense when you see the control that they have, why all global companies kind of go a certain direction.
So, and you've always heard this idea that there's 11 guys in a smoky room making all these decisions, and I've always thought, well, you're crazy. But that this kind of fits into that scenario, right? It's a small group of people that are making global decisions.
Now, if you had your own money and you purchase, let's say, a certain kind of company, you have the voting rights then,
right?
If you have enough money, but with retirement funds at a company, you don't have a choice. Right. You have to do those funds. Mm-hmm. Here's another one that's kind of interesting. Derivatives, legitimate for hedging, it talks about. So we can talk about derivatives. Complex chains and naked credit default swaps, it talks about. So anytime the term naked is used, it means you're buying a credit default swap by itself. So the Catholic Church is saying it's okay. I like that they're saying this because I teach this in class all the time. You can hedge against risk with a option, which means you're protecting yourself if the stock goes down just in case. That's a good thing. You're protecting yourself. But it's talking about if you're purchasing it by itself. And let me explain what that means. And I'm going to do it in very simple terms. And this is what they did in the 2008 crisis. Let's say you buy an insurance plan off your neighbor.
Oh my God.
Let's say it's a health insurance plan, which means if your neighbor gets cancer, you are going to make tons of money when you have no risk in your neighbor's future, and you don't have any risk in your neighbor's house. You don't have no risk in that asset, but you're buying a insurance plan and something you have nothing to do with. That's a credit default swap. So it's saying that can be unethical, and we shouldn't.
See how.
It should be the United States government that has those regulations that should not let that happen. So everyone was hedging against the financial or the housing market. Once it collapsed, those people made money while everyone else suffered. So that's what it is. It's like once your neighbor gets cancer, you're like, yes,
right. You're the beneficiary.
You're the beneficiary
of their horrible situation.
And then it talks about public debt, often tied to private losses, socialized, often citizens, calls for wise reforms, and internationally agreed. Responsible debt reduction passed, so it goes on about that. We're $37 trillion in debt. So I got to give a presentation about money coming up. And I don't know if you guys, in 1964, this is really interesting, and this goes from Grisham's Law. 1964, if you had a U.S. quarter, you can't find them anywhere. It's because they're 90% silver.
Right.
1965, I asked my kid, hey, can you find me one? He found one that day. It is nickel and copper. I forgot the name of it, but it's nickel and copper, so it's really not worth anything. So there's a term called Grisham's Law, if you guys ever heard of it, and what it does, it's not about writing books.
Isn't that the law that says if you can turn a book into a movie, you should?
It might be. Well, Grisham's Law, what it states is that if you have two forms of money, a 1964 quarter and a 1965 quarter, that the bad money, which is 1965 quarter, drives out the 64 quarters because everyone hoards it. Because it's worth something. And then what gets flooded into the currency is the bad money. And this happened all through the United States when we had gold or silver, when we had that kind of thing. But you know what the United States government found out? Is that how do you make the Roman Empire did this too. They debased the currency. So all the good silver coins they had were getting taken out. They're hoarded. So what do? The fiat currency that we have. So if they start printing more dollars, that creates bad money, but you can't distinguish between the good money. Therefore, all the money is diminished.
Now it's all bad.
And what this document is stating is that we have to be better stewards because public debt destroys private interest. And what it does in economics, it drives out private investment when you go too high in debt. And that's what we have going on with
public debt destroys private
investment. It's called the crowding out effect. It's because interest rates will go up and it crowds it out, and we have to pay for the public debt. And we become just a socialized country because everything's public.
Drew, you always explain things so I can understand them.
You know what? I think it's time for donuts.
Hey, the quarter interest dropped. Good, right? Maybe not enough, but
well,
at least
I would just say for people, a lot of people say it's not enough. Some people think it's good not to drive it. Expect. If prices were going up with interest rates high, if they start dropping interest rates, expect asset prices to skyrocket in the next year. Which I don't know if it's good or bad. If you have money, it's good.
If you have assets, money, it's a good thing. Right. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Professor of Finance Drew Blasek, thank you so much.
Thank you, Drew.
Hey, thank you.